a page of
Snack
8
time.
pretty colours in your manual. It's not just some content that Tony discovered.
So we're here to recap day 4,
Yeah.
which was a huge day of relationships.
Yeah.
Wow, like I had so much Tony Robbins relationship that I dreamt about me in a wedding dress and him talking to me about my relationship. There's so much immersion. It's just like subconsciously, it's just like
Yeah, it was a lot. So yeah, he talks about the masculine and feminine masks that we wear. You know, like for example, I feel like our generation, you know, in 2020 and like 15 years before that, we were taught to be independent. You know, my mom was a single mom. She had to start all over when we were like 12, and it was just hard. And so what I learned is like never trust a man, and like make your own money and be independent. But what that does is I wore a masculine mask. I am true feminine in my nature, but because I moved out here when I was 17, and I've had to be on my own, I've had to be masculine many times, I embodied that. That was like a learned thing to be masculine. And then what happens is like, guys are like, they don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
I can switch back and forth, so I've never really had a problem with that. But when I fight with my man, I get very masculine, and he's masculine, and he's like, I'm gonna throw you out the fucking window because you're acting like a man.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like
I'm
too
not
aggro,
fighting
both-
like a
both
woman.
sides, yeah.
I'm fighting like a man. So
Yeah.
like nobody can listen, you
Yeah.
know. And so this is where that was valuable for me, because when you wear a masculine mask, your partner will be more feminine, and then there's no polarity.
Yeah.
Or if they're masculine and I'm masculine, there's no polarity. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So that was a huge piece of information for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically for me, I am kind of in the same boat as Stephanie. I feel like growing up, my parents also told me, well, at least especially my mom was like, you know, even if you get married or whatever, you gotta make your own money. Like you gotta have your own like income to store. Just like this whole mentality of like being independent is very important regardless of whether you even get married. But in the masculine, if you understand the masculine energy and the essence of it, they want to take care of the feminine. So when you act too masculine, they actually get disinterested in you.
Yeah, they're like, what
Because-
am I here for?
Yeah, they
If
feel
you
like,
don't need me, what am I doing
yeah,
here?
and it goes back to the billions of years of like, not maybe billions of years, but like back in the days when men were hunters, you know, they would go out and hunt, and then women were like berry collectors, and all the behaviors that are so ingrained in our like alligator brain from back in the days, it's just still there affecting the way that we feel. Even though we've kind of evolved in society to become more equal, to try to like, well, woman can do everything a man can do, but like ultimately the sexual and like kind of chemistry and attraction and spark comes from the polarity of two people. I mean, it doesn't have to be female or male in sex, but it's just the essence that you were born with. It's everyone has masculine and feminine energy as well, and you can bring out those energies in different situations, but like there should be a predominant like energy that you live with. And so he actually had us do something very fun, which is dance in the dark if you're like a feminine energy person. And that seriously made me feel so alive. Something I really like locked down for many years. Like I think the last time I really like danced freely was like maybe in the clubs when I was in college, you know, like that's the time. And then as you like start working, you're like a professional, like some like that part of me was kind of like locked away or gone. And especially because my husband is not really like somebody who loves dancing. I don't see him like just randomly standing up to dance. And I mean, I love dancing, I still don't do it. So I think doing things like if you want to do a workout like Kinergy, they bring out that kind of like a movement in your body, which is, it's a very feminine thing because it's drawing it out from inside the body. It's in deep. Whereas masculine energy is typically more open and out.
And it's like focused and on problem solving and like, let me find a challenge and crush it.
Yeah. And with the guys, they had them like just shout like freedom, like a soldier, you know, back in the days where they were like fighting and protecting, and men, well, not necessarily men, but just masculine essence and energy, they just want to charge through challenges.
Yeah.
And that's like what makes women feel like, oh, like, you're like, that's hot and sexy, like that's a man.
It was kind of like shocking to see like their intense energy, and it was like, it was really hot.
Yeah,
you know?
she did it in person last year, and she said she felt that
it
just wave.
shattered the room. Like you could feel it in your bones. You're like, holy shit.
There's a lot of men in here.
Yeah.
And woo. And I think when the guys bring that very masculine essence into the room, you feel safe to be your feminine self.
They're strong, but you feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel like you have to put up that mask of masculinity to protect yourself, because like the masculine energy wants to protect.
Yeah.
Like the smaller, dainty, hurt, like
and
more
I just
energy.
want to say, this doesn't mean you don't have to not be independent or make your own money, but like don't not need your man. Don't like let him open the fucking jar of pickles. You know, let him open the door for you. Let him get you something nice. Let him let him buy you a dinner. You know, like you don't have to do everything. Like be a woman and like, or
let them help
be
you
in your true feminine essence and like say thank you and like, you know, do a little dance for him.
So like he showed this intervention of this lady who is a plastic surgeon, so she's very accomplished and she always is growing, so she always wants to strive for more. So you can see professionally she is kind of quite masculine. She wants to like push through challenges constantly. But with her man, like that's where kind of things were not necessarily going the way that she hoped they would, because she couldn't really let go of that control. Yeah, she wanted to kind of manipulate the guy into thinking like she could change him, which Tony says just don't.
Oh my gosh, we learned so much yesterday. We learned about like one-dimensional love, two-dimensional love, and three-dimensional love. And then we learned about like how to pick a partner, which he says nobody teaches you. And it's so great. It's kind of like hiring someone for a job. It's like, and that reminds me of the woman, because part of it is finding someone, okay, can they do this job? Can they love you? Can they show up for you? Are they going to be like fulfilled by your life? And then the second thing is, will they do this long term? Yeah. You know, and like, so when we get into a relationship, you know, sometimes we're so attracted to someone that we become someone we're not. Yeah. This was me. When I met Jared, I was like, oh my God, he's so hot. He's so accomplished. He's a triathlete. He's a rock climber. He has this multi-million-dollar company. And I was just like 23 in my little studio apartment, like fucking off. And I was like, I've got to be this, I've got to be that, I've got to be like, use bigger words. Like, I just never felt good enough. And that's my old programming. But like, I definitely did not care that much about rock climbing. But I made it.
Oh no, I
like fucking climbed all the mountains and I was good at it, you know?
She's amazing. Just looking at her photos.
And then after like, after 4 years, this is how much like self-love I didn't have for myself. After 4 years, I was like, okay, I don't want to do that shit anymore. I'm gonna go salsa dancing.
I never heard about it anyways.
Yeah. So like, you know, that's a really fucked up example. Don't do what I did. But like, sometimes we do this for even a short period and we show our best selves to kind of get that person into us, you know, like market our best selves. And, you know, I couldn't do that long term. Yeah. Luckily, like when you worked it out.
That's when stress happens, is when you have conflict within yourself. Like what you truly feel and what you're doing is not the same, and you're beating yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're beating yourself up like that constantly, your confidence level goes down, because you're never like living your true self.
Anyway, that was a cool little bit to learn. He really goes into it in that part, like especially if you're single, it's great. But if you're not single, you can still choose the part of you that shows up for them, and you can actually change your experience with them, let's say they never did Date with Destiny, they never learned an ounce of this, you can actually change your experience with them just by knowing the feminine energies, the dimensions of love, and how,
Oh no, I was gonna say, I think it's like who you show up as. Even if you can do the job, will do the job, but everybody has different parts of themselves. Like, am I Christina, who is a business person in this relationship, who wants to just take and give, like, you know, it's a transactional thing? Or am I the wonderful wife loving figure? Like, who am I showing up for in this relationship at this time? Is it the person that they need?
Yeah, are you there to just take and get, or are you there to give? You know, and if you constantly give to someone who's selfish, it's rare that they won't reciprocate. So that's what he basically taught us, is like to be a generous lover, to love in the third dimension, which is your needs are my needs. And that is something that I still, even after my second date with Destiny, I still need to implement that, because I've definitely been in the second dimension where things are very equal. And like, okay, you do this for me, I'm going to do that for you, or you gave a little, so I'm going to give a little. And it's just not the way to have a passionate relationship.
Yeah, it makes you too equal, so you lose polarity again.
He's not my roommate.
Yeah, and that's like
this isn't a business agreement.
Yeah, it kind of is how we're kind of taught in society right now because of the whole equality thing too. Like, you just feel like, hey, if you give 50%, I give 50%. But actually, it's more about just like, I want to do more for you because, like, I truly believe that your needs really are my needs, and unless I'm fulfilling your needs in the way that you want, like, this relationship is not going to grow and fulfill in the most beautiful way.
So yeah, it's cool that we all have progress. And then what else do we want to cover about relationships? Is there anything else?
I think we do.
That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a
And
lot.
there was so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of nice to share these thoughts with you guys while it's fresh. I wish I did this last year. I feel like it helps us remember too. What we learned.
Oh, for sure. Every night when I like talk to my husband, I like recap for him or my mom. Just, it helps me really like burn it into the nervous system and into like just recall memory, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all take in every single bit of life into our brains and cells, but how many times do we actually pull that memory out? It's not like the memory disappears. It's just we don't always draw it out, and some are buried so deep that you think you forgot. But actually, it's always still there. So it's great to have that spit out again. So then it's always more on the higher level consciousness.
Okay, that's it.
We're going
We
back
have
to
to start now.
They probably already started.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.